First of all, I'd like to thank NSERC and OCE. It's because of their generosity that we're able to hold this event, because they were gracious enough to help fund. So enjoy your snacks on them and all of the stuff that's about to come. So on behalf of NSERC, I'd like to talk to you about the Engage grant, which is also known as your first date, or, oh my God, it's free money. When there are research grants, just to put it in perspective, none of the money goes to the company, none of the money goes to the professor. It all goes to support the cost of the project, which means that there are supplies or equipment that's needed, and it pays the student stipend who's going to be doing the work, the master's, PhD, or postdoc. The professor is volunteering their time, and the company doesn't get any money. So the Engage grant's pretty amazing, because for a 6-month project, there's a $25,000 grant that comes right from NSERC. It's for science and technology related projects. And for a 6-month duration, all the intellectual property that's generated by this project is owned by the company. There can be no prior relationship between the researcher and the company. So for example, if they presented a paper together at a symposium, then they're no longer eligible for a Research Engage. If they have stood on a panel together, they're no longer eligible for an NSERC Engage. So this is what you have to be careful of. A professor is allowed to do 2 engages per year. The year is from April 1 to March 31st. They can, in order for the researcher to be eligible for doing an Engage, they have to have been through a peer-reviewed NSERC grant of any kind in the prior, I think it's 5 years. Because this grant is a fast-track one, it only takes about 6 weeks to get approval, and that's because they are not actually sending it out for peer review. It's assumed that the researcher is capable of doing research because they've already been successful in getting some NSERC money. It's a very easy application form. It's only a few pages. The university takes the lead. Don't know what else I can say about it other than it's fantastic, and certainly one to consider whenever you're looking to do collaborative research. Oh, no deadline. You can just apply at any time, and it just rolls along. Does anyone have any questions about the Engage? It was so popular, they came out with an Engage Plus. For any researcher and company that have worked together on Engage, and they've had so much fun that they want to continue on very quickly, you can apply for an Engage Plus. And that also is another $25,000 project for another 6 months. Here the company puts in half the money and NSERC puts in half the money. Now with all of these projects, whichever one they are, anytime that a company's putting in money, it's something that they can apply for SHRED. So it's always going to be SHRED applicable. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be SHRED eligible. Depends on, you know, your ability to write a SHRED application, but they're all eligible. And for the Engage Plus, it has to be the same researcher in the company that already did an Engage, and the IP once again is owned by the company. Very high success rate for both of these grants. They're over 90% success rate. And from a researcher perspective, you can compare and contrast that to some of the other grants where they could be a 10% success rate. So these are really fantastic. NSERC also has something called a collaborative R&D grant, and that one is for larger projects. Although it could be small, you can go from $10,000. But here it can be up to 5 years in duration. It can be hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in grants, like IBM has made good use of these. And there is a fantastic match because you put in, say you put in $100 of cash and $100 of in-kind contribution, then NSERC will put in $200 of cash. So it's great leverage for your $50. You're ending up with, you know, lots. These take longer to be approved because they're larger. They go out for peer review. And it's about 3 to 6 months, and with, once again, very high success rate. And because it's from NSERC, once again, it is from the science and technology areas. All of these slides, by the way, are going to be up on the Innovation York website within the week. Now, there's something called a strategic project grant, which is kind of cool. I have to warn you, though, this has a much lower success rate. It's about 25%, but there's no cash requirement from the company. This is only in kind, and it's within 4 target areas. You have to have one of the areas. So environmental science and technology, ICT, manufacturing, natural resources, and energy. But if you have a project that falls in that area for some research, then you don't even have to have a cash contribution. This is particularly cool if you're a researcher on the academic side in this area, because I can go looking for a company for you, and because there's no cash contribution, it's an easier find. This one has an application deadline, though, of April 1st. And as I said, it's lower. I'd like to now call on Belinda, and if you would like to please talk about OCE. Are there any questions about the NSERC stuff before? Yeah?
A quick one.
Please.
The Engage Plus, does that have to immediately follow an Engage
Within 6
period?
months of the Engage being done, you have to apply.